Okay, welcome to the second episode of Average Joverwatch. We've been waiting for a whole bunch of patches and whatnot, and it hasn't even really settled yet, but we figured we should probably talk about it because a lot has changed since our last podcast. So,
that is true.
I'm Ryan, and
I'm Michael.
And we'll be let's talk about it. We just get right into it.
First off, the last time we talked about this, another change is, remember I was going to change my battle tag ID?
No, I don't remember that, but I know that you
We
did.
talked about changing it to Ghosty. I said I want to change it to Ghosty because that's my WoW name.
That's right. And I was like, no, just keep it Mikey.
So I went in to change it, and your brother pointed out to me that I'm a complete and utter idiot in this regard.
He's good at that.
And I thought it was free to change it. I just assumed, it's just a quick name change, whatever.
Change.
For the first one,
it's okay. I mean, it's very easy to miss the
giant
Cornbread
box.
pointed out, the giant orange on black, giant text that said the first one is free.
Yeah, so I changed it to match the YouTube channel name because I was going to record some stuff in another game, and then I went back to change it, and it's like $10. What? And then I got really upset, but then I mentioned this to your brother, and he's like, didn't you think about this for 30 seconds? It's not as easy as you think to change the names.
Oh, you went on.
They got to change
populate databases, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
oh man, I never even thought about that. So now I might have to pay $10 to change my friggin' name again. Or just leave it as it is. I mean, it's not too bad. It's just PT Gamer, FT Dad. It's not terrible. I mean, it could be.
It's definitely...
Could be better.
It's fine. It's fine. We have the upcoming LAN. You'll be ridiculed. It'll be fine.
It's no Legolas. Who only mains Hanzo.
If only you could slide downstairs on a shield. Oh, yeah.
I saw a guy playing Reinhardt the other day. His name is Gimli. Which is pretty stupid considering Reinhardt's huge, but
no.
I assume it's just the
But it means he can
aspect.
also play Torbjorn.
Oh, that would have been so much better. But Torbjorn has turrets. I think it's the
still is a
axe.
hammer, all right. He is a dwarf.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you know that Torbjorn, the art for him was the original art inspiration for the entire game? So somebody drew up Torbjorn and was like, hey, check out this cool character that I did up. And then when they were designing the game, the entire art style was based off of this one Torbjorn drawing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So he was like the first
That's why
hero.
everything looks like the turrets. Well, I mean, all the techie stuff has that feel.
That turret vibe to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that. But I thought that was super neat.
Okay, so...
Wait. Before we get into the craziness of like strategies and stuff like that, I just wanted to quickly mention, I also saw another thing on Twitter the other day, and we were talking about this before, about Symmetra. And how Jeff Kaplan, in a letter to a fan, admitted that Symmetra is somewhere, he didn't indicate where, somewhere on the autism spectrum. Now, I have no problem with that. I don't care about that. Anybody who does have... Tracer is let's just say a homosexual. That's a better way to put it.
I don't think they're offended by it.
Hey, man, I am just making sure because I did something at work the other day that was... I'll tell you about that after. Anyways, I may have offended somebody.
I have gay friends. They call themselves gay friends.
Yeah, that's true.
I call them gay friends.
Just the fact that Overwatch has such a diverse cast of characters is amazing.
Really good.
Like, Blizzard just doesn't... They don't care. Like, if you have a problem with that, they don't care.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's promote... I mean, it's
go
realistic.
Play something else.
It's realistic.
Exactly.
The world is diverse. Therefore, why shouldn't the heroes of Overwatch be equally diverse?
And we were arguing about this earlier, McCree, whether or not he's disabled because he's missing his hand.
He's not missing his hand. His hand has been enhanced.
His hand has been enhanced, but
it's fantastic.
In the real world now, if you're missing a hand, that's a disability.
Hand makes it so I never miss, but occasionally it rattles when I'm eating.
I gotta change the batteries.
And I need to stock up on WD-40.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, he's got to get with the times. Graphite powder, man.
I guess
WD-40 anymore.
Genji's like half robot, isn't he?
Which half? Ladies. Huh?
He's got something hard and steely.
Yeah, his sword.
Of course, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving right along.
Okay, so I don't believe the Bastion changes had gone live before the last time we talked.
No, they hadn't.
Okay, so new meta. Bastion's slightly overpowered.
Everyone plays around Bastion.
He will be getting a slight tweak because if you've played any on the PTR, it's hard to. It was hard to win without Bastion, and now that it's gone live, it's been, I don't know. I haven't seen as much of it as I thought I would, to be honest. At least not lately. So I think people have maybe learned to play around him a little more. But actually, in the last week or two, I haven't seen a ton of Bastion picks.
I saw something.
But it is really overpowered if you build around him, I think was the...
I heard something, and I didn't believe it, so then I had to YouTube it. Apparently, with the new Bastion, if he holds down his heal while he's supercharged by Ana, so he gets the damage reduction, he can survive an entire point-blank Pharaoh Barrage.
Oh yeah, he can survive a Hanzo ult.
With like 20 health left.
Survive a Reaper ult.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so what they've done on the PTR currently, and it's almost guaranteed to go live, is drop the Sentry mode, Tank mode, damage reduction of... He's got a passive 35% in those modes.
35, wow.
They've dropped it to 20.
Oh,
which is reasonable. I was up on the PTR testing out the new hero, Orisa. I was finding Bastion was much more... Well, not more killable. He was still tanky feeling, but he wasn't overpowered feeling. He was just like, okay, he's just another solid pick that's, more stationary soldier, so you just had to kind of play around that. And sometimes if he played smart, you got destroyed, and if you played smart, then you could usually get around it if you comped, so.
I have to admit, it's rather fun and funny when you're Bastion and you're in recon mode, and a Mei catches you, and she starts to freeze you, so you immediately just start to heal, and you get frozen solid. She dumps a headshot into you. You don't die. You can heal up faster, because it recharges while you're frozen. So you get out, you just start re-healing again, and the amount you're going to heal back by the time she freezes you again, she's still not going to kill you with that next headshot. You can keep doing that until she has to reload, then she's dead.
Yeah,
I did that twice in the same game, and I think this guy got so mad. I wasn't reading what he was typing because he was just not being a very pleasant person about it, but he was like,
being a douchebag.
Bastion is such, oh my, blah, 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 blah.
Well, to be fair, they are nerfing it, so maybe there's something to it.
I think it was a little unrealistic, but it was still so fun.
I think everyone has the Diva Uber Mega Tank of Doom fresh in their mind too, so I think everyone's a little sensitive, overly sensitive perhaps to characters being too tanky.
Because Bastion's not meant to be a tank.
Well, I mean...
If a Tracer catches him off guard, they should be able to kill him, but right now...
He's no mobility, so he trades that for tankiness, although I guess the healing kind of gives him mobility because he can move and heal himself. So
even Soldier can only move a certain distance while he's healing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people called for a change to the healing, but I think just the being less tanky in turret mode, I think, solves the problems around it anyways. And he's a fun character to play. They need more shield breakers in the game to try and make Reinhardt less required. So I think that's good.
Which is funny. The
tank killers aren't tank killing super effectively like Reaper, so he's kind of a new replacement tank killer. Like, if you get left alone in the middle of a team fight for a second, for whatever reason, you just murder tanks. Like,
That's
they
true.
just die.
That's true.
If you're in Bastion's effective range and before his accuracy starts to affect him in turret mode, like, you just melt. Even the skinny bitches melt. So
I like how you refer to them as the skinny bitches. That's not it.
It's their hitboxes, man. It makes me angry.
No, I get it.
And I'm
like
a high-level
Tracer,
FPS player.
Symmetra, Ana, Mercy.
But, so I like where they've are headed with Bastion. Do you want to talk about the Ana changes? We
could touch on that because it'll be really quick because it's just she's getting nerfed through the ground.
Not through the ground. Most Ana mains I've talked to or listened to their thoughts on think it's pretty balanced and think it's something that needed to be done because her kit unquestionably is the most versatile kit in the game, right?
I will give you that. She's
hit scan with no range drop off.
I didn't realize that. I thought there was because it was a dart.
That's why she's such the best fair counter is because she's doing 80, which will go to 60. So that's the first change is her main weapon will only do 60 damage and heal for 60 instead of 80. She had the highest heal per second single target. So that's obviously goes down a bit with the damage nerf to her main gun.
Which is funny, though, because I always beat Rambo on Lucio. More healing.
Well, AoE, if you're healing 5 people all the time and everyone's around you.
Yeah, but Lucio ticks for like 3.
Yeah, but Lucio is potentially, but as I said, she's the highest single target. So you had the highest single target. She had a big AoE grenade, which would save herself. She's the only thing that can stop enemies from healing. She has the sleep, which is the best disable, maybe the best skill in the entire game. I mean, it's a long range, faster traveling, well, maybe not faster traveling, but long range, reasonably fast traveling skill shot. Flashbang that flashbangs them essentially for 8 seconds.
I have to say,
6 seconds.
And props to Rambo on this one. I've seen him pull out some clutch sleep darts. Randomly, we'll be in a team fight and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, Roadhog's over asleep here in the back room. Anybody wants to come get him?" What?
Yeah, the biggest thing is she was a support sniper who would do a reasonable amount of damage, the best single target healing, but flankers, who are generally supposed to kill the supports, would be afraid to dive her. It's not even like a Tracer versus a Zenyatta. If the Zenyatta's highly skilled, he might pull off the headshot on the Tracer. It's a 50-50 proposition. But it's not scary, right? It's not like, I'm not going to try to do it. Whereas, the Ana player almost has to screw up to get killed by almost any flanker. It's ridiculous. It'd be like, I'm running around and I essentially have her effective health is 300 and something essentially, and she does a reasonable amount of damage and she can sleep you.
Yeah.
It's just it's just too versatile, so they had to nerf just the effectiveness of it all to bring her down, and that way Mercy will see more play, because Mercy having absolutely no offensive capability and her escape being not nearly as good as Ana's. I think she needs to have the highest single target healing just to make her viable. So that'll help Mercy see more play. The res changes to Mercy were good, having that little bit of invincibility now.
I think Mercy should have 2 pistols.
Oh, sorry, and Ana's got one of the most ridiculous ults in the game too. So
okay, I will not even argue with that. That's probably
I'm
just so glad she can't put it on herself.
Well, that would be terrible. But it's hilarious.
Would it be terrible, or would it be?
And look, I can save myself even further.
Exactly. While I'm doing even more damage, that's already a crazy amount of damage. Can you imagine putting that on yourself and then grenading a whole team that's on a payload?
Well, not now.
That's game over. Well, yeah.
Now
okay,
it's
now
the grenade's only going to be doing 150, I think.
Doesn't matter. Even if she could still supercharge herself, that would still be super broken.
Yeah, it's the fact that
custom game, here we come.
Arguably throwing it on the enemy team was, I think, the most overpowered part of the grenade too now. Anyways.
Yeah.
So her changes we think will be good. I wonder if it's going a little too far. 60 from 80 might be a little low. I could see them potentially just popping it up to 65. Just because then you still would have to 4-shot a hero at 200. I think that's sort of the big 70, then you get into 3-shotting someone, whereas you do 195 at 65, and I think that might be a good tweak. 60 does seem a little low, and I feel like Pharah's a little overpowered, so that every little bit helps right now, because there's so many times, and maybe it's just me speaking as a soldier main, where it's like, oh, they've got a Pharah and a Mercy. Soldier, why aren't you killing that Pharah? Soldier, why aren't you killing that Pharah? Oh my god, Soldier, you fucking suck. we have a Soldier, we have no Ana, we have no McCree, we have no Widowmaker, but our lone Soldier isn't just killing this Pharah, who has a pocket Mercy, who always is behind a wall, behind the Pharah, never killing her. What is going on? Oh my god, you suck, I'd never play DPS again. It's every other game just as a soldier main. It just makes me almost not want to play soldier ever, to wait for the person who's playing soldier to get in trouble, so then I'll be like, oh, I could play good soldier. This guy sucks. Right?
Just come in all shining knight on your steed. Oh, I've got this, guys. My soldier game's on point.
It's honestly just the damage drop off. The smart Pharahs, the ones who move well, and she's been out long enough where the people who play well. I play Pharah, and I almost never ignore soldiers. I play Pharah against a soldier and a McCree, and sometimes even I play a Pharah against a soldier, a McCree, and an Ana. And I do well. It's just, I mean, granted, if there's that many, then they're not doing their jobs, but you have to coordinate, right? They have to know. I've had, what was I doing? I was sitting across on the top part. on a ledge above behind the well, shooting at a Pharah, and like on the other side of the well, up in the air. And it's like headshot, 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 and you know, with the other additional shots in between, and she was at 2/3 life still. It's just like, well, I've just bursted her like 4 times, hitting her in the head and other shots each time, and I've done less than half her life. I mean, that's the second half, and she's undercover. It was like, she's got, then, you know, so I mean, she doesn't even need a mercy at that point. The Ana turns around and shoots her once, and whoop, thanks, all that health's back. And then, like, this is all the shots you can get off. Well, there's 2 rockets on the way. If they both hit you, you're dead.
Yeah, that's
so. In fact, if one hits you and then one hits beside you, you're dead.
Yep.
So it's just, I mean, even when your positioning is good, you basically have to have something. There's not enough spots where she can't, as a skilled Pharah, generally hit the ground or something beside you. There's not too many things where you kind of have a wall without a bunch of ground behind you that you have access to. So it's very tricky. And then if you're worried about her the whole time, she can just go and start flanking, and she can go anywhere on the map, so you don't know. So you're like worried about her and not doing your job of shooting at the supports and stuff. So it's just in killing people and killing everything else. Soldier just supposed to be murdering everybody.
Yeah.
If you're worried about Pharah the entire time and looking up the entire time or behind you,
you're not shooting anybody else.
It's just it just her being in the game it's almost like better to just be not soldier and just ignore. I don't know. But I'm just sick of everyone assuming that soldier counters Pharah. So
well, if
that's my one hesitation with the Ana change, because Ana was the nice. You know, and it's a nice counter to Pharah, but then you lose some of the healing, right? So it's an interesting choice for the Ana player to do, and she's got to be good at doing it, right? Because she's got to pick the right time, because she's got to still keep her team alive. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens if it's going to be the era of Pharah. Oh, snap.
Nice. Right. That was not even pre-planned either. Okay, so let's talk about the new hero.
Okay.
I haven't even.
Are you excited for the new hero?
I haven't touched the PTR. Haven't seen it. All I've seen is that 30 seconds you showed me before we started recording.
Okay. Well, she's the brainchild of an 11-year-old.
Oh yeah, I know about the lore. I watched the videos and I read.
Giant spider robot named Arisa.
Yeah, she looks neat.
I like the character design a lot so far. So her abilities, she's got a long-range Gatling gun, which is accurate, unlike Bastion's Gatling gun. I guess it would be.
The damage seems a bit low, though.
It's low, but it's not. The damage drop-off doesn't seem to be too much. She's I would say a moderate long-range threat. She's actually, I was listening to Captain Planet's podcast, and they were talking about it. Love those guys. And they always have such good guests, too. Anyways.
I'm going to have to check that out.
I'm such a fanboy. So the long range, that was a loud you're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah.
And Spike. What she's gonna attack really well at long range is the other tanks. So she's actually gonna be like a long range tank killer. So she's gonna be able to threaten the other tanks at long range. I mean, she's the only tank that can threaten anyone at long range, so that's a nice change. I kind of wondered how and if they would do a long range tank. And she is very focused on that. Her E is a shield, but it's a placeable shield with 900 health, and she can throw it down, and you can throw it like across the map. I think if you do it right, not like literally, but you throw it really far.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool because there's a skill shot aspect to it. It lands and projects in a curved barrier, protecting you from the direction that you're facing at the time.
Like a half Winston shield.
Yes,
a little bit shorter.
Yeah, smaller than a half Winston shield would be, but definitely like maybe a third of the diameter would be the width of the Arisa shield. And it doesn't go very high, so I guess you can shoot over it is one of the things. So
maybe if you had like counterable a slight by high ground advantage.
Yeah, which, I mean, you know, like soldiers and stuff will do. So it's not as good that way. And I mean, Reinhardt, you can always lift it up a bit. So I don't think she'll be a replacement for Reinhardt necessarily all the time. But I think the more options you have, you can mix and match. You know, we're getting closer to not having to have a Reinhardt.
Since he's still staple.
Yeah, and her her shift defensive ability is, I think it's just a straight up 40% damage reduction with... you can't be CC'd.
Can you attack during that time?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you just hit it once. You don't have to hold it down, which is nice. And it's on like a 10 or double-digit cooldown anyways. And so that's nice. I like to step in front of the shield and use that to save some of the shield's life, because 900 isn't a huge amount. And then you step back, you're behind the shield, then the shield starts taking some damage and you get healed up. So there'll be some interesting ways to play her, that's for sure. The no CC, I think it gets you out of some CCs. Like if you hit it while you're being frozen, I think it'll stop it. But once you are frozen, you can't hit it. Oh, okay. Like it's kind of like that. Like if you hit it and you get flashbanged, you're not going to get flashbanged, but obviously you can't hit it during a flashbang or like a sleep or something. So, but that's neat. But then I think her best ability is her E, it's called Halt, which is a terrible name because it sounds just like alt. They were laughing about that on that other podcast pretty good. Hey guys, I just ulted. Oh, what? Why would you do that? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. No,
halt.
Good halt. What? Halt now? Yeah. Okay. It's going to be terrible. Green ball. Just call it green ball. There we go. She fires out a green graviton mini ball that she can explode, and it sucks things in. It travels out, I think, similar speed to Symmetra balls. It's kind of firing a almost fully charged Symmetra ball for like size and speed. So you basically fire that out, and then if you right click again, or if it hits something, it'll explode and suck things in towards it in a reasonably large radius. Like maybe the radius of a Winston shield, maybe not quite, something like that. That's pretty big. It was fun to use. I was pulling Bastions off of the gas station on Route 66 super easily. You can pull guys out around corners. Genji's running away, runs up into the wall, and you suck him off, and it's like, oh, well, and he's already used his double jump. He can die.
I gotta get on the PTR. I gotta give it a try.
Anti-mobility is nice. It makes up for her lack of mobility. I think the big thing I thought of and was using her for was obviously attacking those high ground defenses that you see a lot of. Smart. You're supposed to play defense because high ground is always an advantage, especially because you see a lot of times, Lucio, Ana, Roadhog, Reinhardt, Soldier 76, and McCree. Well, none of them can. They can get to high ground, but they all have to run there, right? Yeah. So if that's their attacking comp, then yeah. So it'll be neat to be able to attack defenses. I think Ariza will be better attacking because you can throw the barrier. She can be an alternate tank. So I think she'll just be right in there in the mix with all the basically good tanks that aren't Reinhardt. I don't think she's on the level of Zarya. I don't think anyone's on the level of Zarya, but I think she's pretty much, different roles, but equivalent to Roadhog and D.Va, and probably, I would say, maybe better overall than Winston in more situations, although Winston is situationally very, very good. But then situationally also very, very bad.
I've been sitting here thinking this entire time, why would you need a long-range tank? And I think I answered it listening to you talk about it.
Different style, I think.
Well, it's because, like we were talking about before we started, Jeff Kaplan admitted that goop or whatever the ball is meant to disrupt people. Yeah. So that makes sense. Okay, it pulls people out of position. It pulls the soldier down from the high ground. Or you put it on the wall, it pulls him down around, he falls. But as a long-range tank as well, if she can hit the people on the high ground from a distance, them getting hurt is also going to put them out of position. Yeah. Because then they have to go get the health packs. So she's just straight up about disrupting enemy positioning. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, that makes sense. A long-range tank that's her duty. We're so childish. Is just to disrupt the enemy positioning. So it's like, oh, okay, now I answered my own question. But that makes sense, and that's always something I always wondered about, because Reinhardt can't do that. Oh, he throws out his fire strike. Woohoo! You dodged it. I guess D.Va can just fly up to them. That's kind of like her gig.
Yeah, Zarya that would be her role, but she does it in close.
Yeah, but she flies up there and she drops down and does it in close, exactly.
She's sort of a highly mobile hit and run version of this. Yeah. Whereas this is just doing it all from long range.
And like you said,
being
Winston.
highly immobile.
But again, he has to jump right in there, so he's in the fray. If they've got 3 or 4 people up there, he's probably going to die.
Well, another nice thing about her in terms of her effect on the meta is she's big. She's one of the biggest characters.
Yeah, the hitbox has to be
She has
huge.
a shield, so her natural counter is going to be Junkrat. You know, it's going to be one of them. So hopefully
finally I can play Junkrat.
That'll up his play a little. I knew you were going to be excited about that. He was actually one of my mains for a long time.
Even Reaper, because like if he's hitting the full spread of his
She's
shotgun.
got some armor. I can't remember how much armor she has. I think with her shift. Well, then he's got his shift. I don't know. I mean, again, Reaper's so engagement dependent, right? Like, Reaper should counter Roadhog, but it's really pretty 50-50. Like, if the Reaper's sneaky,
yeah, if
then
the
he's
Reaper
gonna kill
gets the
Roadhog.
jump on him, Roadhog's toast. But if
if
Roadhog
not,
catches Reaper out,
yeah, if he hits him
toast.
once, then it hook and die. So it's very cat and mouse with those two, which is not bad, right? That's not a bad place to be. Although, I find I was killing her a lot with Bastion on the PTR, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, it's I like where the meta's going. There were some couple other changes on the PTR as well, but
it was pretty small stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think there was anything big worth mentioning, and if there was, well, we're terrible at this.
Yeah, well, we gotta prep for our LAN coming up.
That's true. I'm sure we'll have another one of these before the LAN and then one after, so we can report on how we did.
Mm-hmm. Taking quite the diverse lineup. We got some diamonds, some platinums, some gold.
Some of us who are unranked.
Barely gold. No, you'll be gold.
Some of us who actually missed an entire season and didn't place in that season.
An 11-year-old.
An
12-year-old now.
A couple of us are old, so our reaction times are hindered by the fact that we have kids.
Whoa.
You admitted it before we even started this. That sigh is an affirmation, by the way.
I used to shoot so much better than Jill. So much better.
I feel like he's probably losing a bit of his edge because he plays a lot of WoW. He plays more WoW than I do, I think.
He still goes back to Counter-Strike and rapes face.
No, to be honest,
than I do.
I don't see him playing CS ever because he's on my friends list on Steam. So he's in Rocket League when he's in Steam.
Yeah, he was like, ask me to play Rocket League. I'll be down.
Yeah, he told me the same thing. He's like, I'll jump on Rocket League in a second.
I don't mind Rocket League. I can see the appeal, though. It's a fun game. I mean, how much fun did we have playing Lucio Ball? Did you play Lucio Ball in the summer?
I did. However, I feel like Rocket League is one of those kind of games you need a controller. You don't play that with a mouse and keyboard. He has a controller. He uses an Xbox controller to play it on his PC.
I can see that.
I kind of want to buy a Steam controller, actually.
Xbox controllers, damn it.
Apparently, you can use PS4 controllers. You just need to download special software. Anyways,
too much work.
We're getting off the topic of Overwatch, and this podcast is all Overwatch, so we'll save that for the next time we talk about other stuff.
Yeah, so please, people, let me leave you with this message. You need multiple hit scans to deal with Pharah Mercy combo. Okay, multiple hit scans. Don't blame your soldier, he's trying.
He's trying.
Blame your McCree, he's bad.
Alright, thanks for listening to... What is this? Oh yeah, Average Joverwatch.
How do you not remember the name?
This is only the second
episode.
episode.
The greatest name
and we
ever.
missed last week.
It's basically like the Baby Ruth is to Candy Bar names as this.
That's a terrible name.
What? Baby Ruth? Who wouldn't want to just take a bite into a Baby Ruth?
For some reason,
that is a candy bar, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not remembering this
for
wrong,
some
right?
reason, I had this weird cannibalistic image in my head.
Well, you've watched a lot of The Walking Dead.
Okay, with that, we're going to end it. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Nice Chianti.
Oh my god.